Welcome to Panthera's Paranormal Odyssey. This is for everyone who loves the paranormal. I will bring you research topics on everything from cryptids, hauntings, personal experiences, to stories. If you have a recommendation, just email me. My address is below and I'd love to hear from you. Let's start today's Odyssey. Oakville blobs. Oh, what did they do? September 12th, 1958, the movie The Blob came to the big screen. The budget on this film was $110,000. It grossed over $4 million. We watch it now and laugh at the absurd thought of the blob coming to swallow everything in its midst. At approximately 3 a.m. on August 7th, 1994, residents of Oakville, Washington experienced an odd rainfall. Only instead of rain, it wasn't water that fell from the sky. Residents began to note that it was a strange gelatinous substance that they have never seen before. Oakville described the substance as the size of a grain of rice that fell similar to gelatin. Over a period of 3 weeks, it fell a total of 6 times within a 20-mile radius. At the time it first began, Officer David Lacey was on patrol with a civilian friend. When he turned his windshield wipers on, the rain smeared against the windshield instead of washing it off. The obscured windshield forced him to pull into a gas station to try to clean it manually, donning a pair of latex gloves for safety. He described it as being very mushy, almost like if you had Jell-O in your hand. Local resident Dottie Hearn stepped outside after it had stopped and noticed it was everywhere. At first, it looked like hailstones to her, but when she touched it, she noticed that it had an odd gelatin texture. The very day of the raining blobs, people started getting sick, both Officer Lacey and Dottie Hearn among them. The town experienced illnesses similar to the flu. Symptoms included problematic breathing, vertigo, blurred vision, and nausea. Beverly Roberts, another resident, said that everyone in town contracted a flu-like illness that lasted 2 to 3 months. An hour after first noticing her symptoms, Dottie was found sprawled on her bathroom floor, conscious but very weak. Her daughter, Sunny Barcliffe, described her as being cold and sweaty. She remembered the odd rain, and thinking there might be a connection to Dottie's illness, Sunny collected a sample and sent it to the hospital. And this is what they found. Lab techs were surprised to discover that it contained human white blood cells. After various studies, they were astonished again as the sample contained 2 types of bacteria, one of which is normally found in human intestines. Still, no one could identify what they were, how they came from the sky, and how they caused illness among the entire town. Dr. David Little, who discovered the human white blood cells in the substance, brought the specimen to the Washington State Department of Ecology for further study. The staff said that the white blood cells look like a complex nucleus-containing cell that is present in most living creatures. So what was that mushy gloop? And did it have any connection with the reported sickness? Here are some theories and speculations. Number 1. According to an article in the New York Times on August 20th, 1994, scientist Mike Osweiler of the Washington State Department said that they found a number of cells of various sizes and 2 types of bacteria in the blobs, but were unable to identify them. They did, however, note that the cells did not have nuclei. This is significant in that it refuted a previous claim that the blobs contained human white blood cells, which do not have nuclei. Number 2, fluid waste from an airplane. The Federal Aviation Agency requires waste to be dyed blue, and it's against the law for planes to release human waste during a flight. Since a blob was clear, it was ruled out as not human waste. The agency concluded the substance was bacteria, but no further answers were uncovered. Number 3, most residents believe the blob substance to be something from military testing. Some residents claim to have witnessed military aircraft flying in the vicinity before the blob-like substance rained down on Oakville. The military denied having anything to do with this strange substance. Number 4, a small but vocal contingent believes that they were jellyfish. Jellyfish parts, to be precise, dispersed in the rain clouds by bombing runs carried out by the Air Force. While the bombing was confirmed around 50 miles away in the Pacific, this idea was unsubstantial. Number 5, there is, of course, the chance that the raining blobs never rained in the first place, that they were emerged from a more earthly plane. While this would require overlooking the witness statements of those who saw the blobs fall, it has been a moot theory. Here's a little history. Ever since the 14th century, there have been reports of a substance very similar to the blobs in Oakville being found elsewhere. It's called star jelly. It is named after the legend that it falls from the sky during meteor showers. That's not to say that anyone agrees on the nature of star jelly. Star jelly has also been mentioned in scientific reports and poetry since at least the 17th century. Substances that people have called star jelly have come from a variety of sources: amphibians, algae, slime molds, and even crystals of sodium, sometimes used in agriculture. In 2012, sodium absorbed water from a storm to form gelatinous blobs in Bournemouth in the United Kingdom. Maybe the Oakville blobs were something similar. Another unexplained instance. In 2013, slime was found at the Ham Wall Nature Reserve in Somerset in the United Kingdom. Despite sending it for DNA testing at the Natural History Museum, no conclusion has ever been forthcoming. Although there have been many speculations, this incident is still left open. Later, the incident in Oakville was also reproduced on the program Unsolved Mysteries on May 9, 1997. To this day, this remains a mystery in human history. This part I find extremely interesting. All the original uncollected blobs have long disappeared, and there are no known remaining samples of the Oakville blobs, including at the Washington Department of Health. In fact, they apparently have no records of ever receiving any. So where does this leave investigations? It seems that unless they make another appearance explaining the blobs in Oakville and any connection that they may have had to the sickness that spread in their aftermath, may be forever out of reach. I hope you enjoyed today's Odyssey. If you did, please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it helps out a lot. On a side note, I will be doing a Mischief Night special along with a Halloween special. Please come aboard for these specials. They are really going to be fun. And remember the blob the next time you eat your Jell-O. Bye, y'all.